Tom Harvey is a 16-year-old boy living on a housing estate in East London. He lives in a small flat with his grandmother, Nan, and goes to school nearby. His best friend Danny shows up one day with a gift, a brand new smartphone. Danny hands it to Tom and tells him to use it to talk to Lucy Walker. Danny has seen how Tom looks at Lucy and pushes him to make a move. Tom takes the phone and smiles. Lucy Walker lives in the same block of flats as Tom. She and Tom have known each other for a long time and go to the same school. Not long after, Lucy reaches out to Tom and asks him to come over to help her study for upcoming exams. Tom agrees without hesitation and plans to head over to her flat that evening. That evening, Tom makes his way through the estate and up to Lucy's floor. But something is already wrong when he gets there. The front door to Lucy's flat is open. Tom steps inside. A group of masked men are rushing out of Lucy's room, carrying a camcorder. Tom moves further inside and finds Lucy's brother Ben unconscious on the floor. Tom backs away fast and runs. He pulls out his new phone as he sprints away, trying to dial the police. But before he can get the call through, a gun goes off behind him. The shot hits Tom in the head from behind, and he drops to the ground and goes still. Tom wakes up 10 days later in a hospital bed. His grandmother is beside him. A doctor comes in and explains what happened. The bullet did not travel all the way through Tom's skull. Instead, the impact shattered his smartphone, and fragments of the phone were blasted into his brain. The doctors were unable to remove all the shrapnel. The pieces are too deep, too embedded. Tom has to live with them in his head. Strange things begin happening while Tom is still recovering. He starts picking up sounds that aren't in the room, fragments of phone calls, digital tones, signal noise. Then images begin to flicker in his vision. He can see wireless signals. He can tap into them just by focusing. He intercepts a text message without touching a phone, then another. He accesses a voice call that is happening somewhere across the estate. Tom begins to understand what he can do. Without wasting any time, Tom uses his ability to hack directly into the memory of the phone that was used to film Lucy's attack. The footage gives him what he needs. The attackers turn out to be people from his own school. The attack on Lucy was not random. Her brother Ben had refused to join the gang that runs part of the estate. Tom visits Lucy's flat shortly after. Lucy is still inside. The curtains are closed. She barely speaks. She does not go to school. She does not go outside. Tom sits with her for a while, and they talk quietly. He tells her he is going to make things right. Lucy does not say much back.
Meanwhile, Tom begins acting on what he knows. He already suspects that a local bully named Eugene was the one who organized the attack on Lucy. He brings this up with Danny, but Danny dismisses the idea. Tom does not drop it. Tom uses his powers to hack directly into Eugene's phone and confirms the footage. Eugene, along with Cass, Ant, and Hazard, were the 4 masked attackers that night. Tom hacks into a webcam and finds recorded footage of Cass. He pushes it straight onto the screen during a school assembly for the entire school to see. Cass sits in the hall as the room reacts around him. It is a humiliation designed to send a message. Tom's next move is bolder. He uses his powers to remotely lock Eugene, Cass, Ant, and Hazard inside a car together. Then he sets the car on fire. The 4 of them are trapped inside as the heat builds. Tom speaks to them through the car radio and demands that someone tell him who gave the order for what happened to Lucy. Cass breaks first. He tells Tom through the radio that their boss, Cuts, was the one who put them up to it. The boys manage to escape the car just before it explodes. Tom visits Lucy again. This time, she is slightly more present. Tom manages to get her to step outside the frat for the first time since the attack. The alias iBoy starts spreading. The name is tied to the fact that Tom is a boy with a piece of an iPhone fused into his brain. Tom leans into it. He begins posting about his actions online. He also sends a text to Lucy from an unknown number, telling her that he is going to set things right for her. Lucy does not know the messages from Tom. Tom's next target is Cuts directly. He lures Cuts and his henchmen out of Cuts' flat. With them gone,
Tom moves in and uses his powers to mentally detonate every piece of electronics inside the apartment. Then he takes Cuts' cocaine stash. He plants the drugs on the 4 attackers, Eugene, Cass, Ant, and Hazard, and tips off the police with an anonymous message. The police move in, and the arrests follow. Several of the men who assaulted Lucy are now in custody. Cuts is not done. In direct retaliation for everything I-Boy has done, Cut sends his remaining crew out across the estate on a home invasion spree. Residents across Crowley Estate are targeted. The gang is making clear that there are consequences for whoever is behind the disruptions. The name I-Boy has now moved up the chain. It reaches Elman, the crime boss operating above everything on the estate. Elman starts making moves to find out who I-Boy really is. Danny is still coming around. He and Tom talk. Danny asks Tom how he is doing. He seems like the same friend he has always been. Tom does not yet see the full picture. Tom keeps pushing. He taps into Cuts' phone calls and listens in. During one of those calls, he learns something new. Cuts is not the top of the chain. Cuts answers to someone higher up, a man named Elman. This is the first time the name Elman comes up. Tom files it away. Tom tracks one of Cuts' active shipments moving through the docks. He moves in and begins sabotaging the operation remotely, cutting off communications between the crew members stationed there and disrupting the shipment. Just then, the trap closes. Cuts' crew has been watching for I-Boy. They move in from different angles and briefly capture Tom inside the docks. They beat him badly. Tom takes serious punishment but manages to focus through the pain and emit a high-pitched disabling tone through his ability. The sound forces the men back just long enough for Tom to break free. He stumbles out into the night and starts making his way home. But before he can get there, his legs give out. He collapses in a park somewhere between the docks and the estate. He is unconscious on the ground. He wakes up to daylight. He has missed his exams. He had promised Lucy he would go with her to sit their exams, and Lucy had pushed herself to go to school that morning, the first time since the attack, partly because Tom said he would be there. He was not. Lucy later confronts Tom about it and admonishes him for letting him down. But that didn't last long before things get darker. Tom and Lucy are outside on the estate when they come across something that stops them both cold. Cass's body is hanging in the courtyard of their complex. Cuts had Cass killed. When Tom gets home, Nan is not alone in the flat. Elman is there. He has arrived accompanied by Cuts and Cuts' henchman, Keon. Elman stands in front of Tom, calm and deliberate. He tells Tom he knows exactly who I-Boy is. Then Elman tells Tom something else. Danny is the one who sold him out. Danny told Elman about Tom's powers in exchange for money. Elman then lays out what he wants. Tom will use his abilities to electronically transfer money into Elman's accounts, broken into small, careful increments to avoid detection. When Tom refuses, Elman informs Tom that Eugene, Ant, and Hazard currently have Lucy at gunpoint inside a warehouse. Tom has no room to move. He agrees to Elman's terms. Tom begins transferring funds the way Elman instructs, using his powers to move money through digital channels. But at the same time, he's quietly running a parallel effort, using every access point available to him to try and locate exactly where Lucy is being held. At the same time, Lucy is not passive inside the warehouse. She manages to get hold of a firearm from one of the men guarding her, but there are too many of them, and every exit is blocked. She cannot get out. Tom narrows down the location and sends a silent signal to redirect police units to the warehouse. Just then, the police move toward the site, but Elman's men are disciplined. They move Lucy out of sight and go quiet. The police sweep the area and find nothing. They pull back. Lucy is still inside.
Elman takes Tom to the depot where Lucy is being held. Tom's powers are still weakened from the beating he took at the docks. The signal in his head is not as sharp or as strong as it was before, but he pushes forward anyway. Inside the depot, Lucy is still being held by Eugene, Ant, and Hazard. While the police sweep had forced the gang to stay hidden, Lucy used that moment to get hold of the gun from one of her captors. The men try to talk her down. They tell her they were never really going to hurt her. Lucy does not lower the gun. She tells them that she never thought they could do what they did to her either.
She reminds them that they all grew up together on the same estate. She asks them if that meant anything to them at all. Before Lucy can act further, Tom and Elman arrive at the depot. The captors are still in control of the exits. Tom focuses everything he has left. He sends out a targeted signal that overloads every cell phone in the building. The phones detonate in the gang members' hands, one after the other, taking Eugene, Ant, and Hazard down. But Elman sees it happening. He drops his phone a split second before the pulse reaches it and runs outside. Tom and Lucy go after him. Outside in the depot grounds, Elman turns and faces them. Tom is barely standing. His power is low, and his body is still carrying damage from the doc's beating. Lucy tries to help take Elman down, but cannot hold him. Elman physically overpowers them both. He gets the upper hand and beats Lucy to the ground right in front of Tom. And then, something unexpected happens. Tom watches Lucy go down, and something breaks open inside him. He locks on to Elman and screams. He releases a full electromagnetic pulse directly from his brain, everything he has left, pushed out in one burst. The pulse slams into Elman and drops him to the ground, unconscious, but the effort takes everything out of Tom completely. He collapses and goes dark. Tom wakes up in the hospital for the second time. Nan is sitting beside him, same as before. The depot ordeal is over. Elman is down. Tom recovers and returns home to the estate. Danny is outside waiting for him. With Cuts dead and Elman neutralized, Danny has moved up and is now the top gang leader in the area. Danny tries to open with an apology. Tom stands there and looks at him. He tells Danny that he dealt with Elman's people, but there is still one person he never got to, the person who filmed Lucy's assault on a phone that night. Tom says quietly that he thinks he knows who that person was. He turns and walks away, leaving Danny standing alone. Tom goes up to the roof of their block. Lucy is already up there. She has laid out a small picnic for the two of them. Then they kiss. Below them, the city lights flicker. The EMP Tom released knocked out electronics across a wide area, but slowly the lights come back on across the skyline. So, what did you think about this story? Tell us in the comment. And if you enjoyed this recap, don't forget to like and subscribe for more interesting stories. See you in the next video.